Oh, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to UpmostGames. It has been a hot minute since I've released any content on this channel, with good reason. I'll say that right now and up front. But I figured it would probably be a good thing to get into something relatively new that I enjoyed the first one of, and really just something relaxing and nice. And oh god, my controller's wigging out. What's going on? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Stop. Okay, now that crisis is averted, the important thing here is that I'm back. Okay, whether or not I'll get into why I was gone for at least, wait, what month is this? At least almost 10 months is moderately irrelevant, but I'll get into it as we play. So let's. Oh, okay. Oh my god, they got bunny slimes now. Everything's great. Let's. Oh my god, the water slimes. I love water slimes. They were the most adorable, neutral-looking guys ever. That just they just gave me plorts. I appreciated them. They gave me all the water plorts I ever needed. Oh my god, we have animated scenes. After a long day of slime ranching, Beatrix LeBeau was enjoying a cool glass of carrot juice as she watched the sun set across the slime sea. Suddenly, a slime boat arrived at her slime dock with nothing inside but a mysterious letter. You have explored the far, far range. From the dusty shores of the dry reef to the furthest reaches of the perilous glass desert. But there are worlds yet uncharted, Beatrix LeBeau. Rainbow Island awaits you. Climb aboard if you're ready for a new adventure. Beatrix excitedly boarded the boat, and it took her across the slime sea. Eventually she saw an island unlike anything on a far, far range. Mountains, trees, and grasses, all an array of colors that danced and moved like a dream. Had she found some mystical island, or had the LSD finally kicked in? As she explored, she found an abandoned conservatory overlooking the rest of the island. Curiously, it was equipped with everything a slime rancher like her would ever need to wrangle slimes, start a farm, and even build gadgets. And so a new adventure begins. Beatrix tightened her boots, readied her backpack, and set out to explore Rainbow Island and uncover its mysteries. I hope that works out. I just needed some. Oh, this looks exactly like Slime Ranch. Do my best not to be too jittery with the camera. Come here. Okay. Okay, that's okay. Okay, that's good. Got one of those. Oh, jump. Right. Gotta follow the tutorial on the side while also not trying to steal every slime ever. There we go. How to vac like a rancher. Joke's on you. I gotta shoot him into the pen. I played this game before. This is the exact same thing with a fresh paint job as I said I wasn't jitter and now I'm spazzing. What the hell? Oh my god, the chicks. They are incredibly tiny and easy to miss. I just thought it was like a piece of grass or like a fruit in the ground. Okay, the plort board's here. Absolutely excited that we were able to get this set up just in time for whatever it is that we do. So I got 250 coins. I'm trying to think. What we got? What's this? Is this Wi-Fi? Turn the Wi-Fi back on. I don't know what the activation button is. Maybe I was spamming it and I was wrong. All right. Let's see. I got my trowels. I'll never use that because I got a gun. Why would I ever use that? No. It's, what do you guys want? You guys want this chicken? You want this food? You want this? Hey, who wants it? You. I'm gonna name you Toby. After Tobey Maguire. There you go. Good job, Toby. Mama's proud of you. Okay, I got a plort. Airnet's always good, but oh my god, I have no money! Demolish a plot? Yeah, that seems like a great idea. I have nothing. I have nothing, guys. I need money. I know it's trying to tell me how to do that right now, but I'm also real interested in making cash fast and not have to worry about this. I guess just explore at this point, right? I forget. It's been a hot minute since I've played the original one. I don't remember if there's a punishment for never like for not sleeping. I think isn't sleeping just like a way to make the day go by faster? I don't know. Either way, have fun, boys. Enjoy. So we're gonna explore this island. I'm excited. You know, I like new places. I like capturing new fauna. I like getting a bunch of carrots. You know, and this is pretty much like my dream day right now. Like everything I listed just happened to be in front of me as I was doing it. It was crazy. Okay. So let's. Oh, I need an upgrade to harvest water. Oh right, you need the hose thing or whatever. Either way, let's get into it before I get distracted again. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, life happens, and I think I've mentioned this several times before. This channel is a side hobby for me, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy editing. I enjoy playing in front. I love all like 63 of my subscribers that I don't know at all by name, or you know, it's not true. I know most of those are my friends in some way. Some random people, and I appreciate you random ones for turning out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because if I don't post, it's not like it's gonna clog your feed anyway. So what's the problem? Anyway. Oh my god, what the hell? I'm learning stuff when I shouldn't be. So, you know, life happens, and so this is kind of the first thing I had to kind of go back on, and oh, I'm under my house, and kind of got cut back on. It's unfortunate, really. It is, and I didn't stop recording though. So there's episodes that were like other times of me trying to explain this this whole thing, and it was kind of a mess. And I'm okay. I'll just say that right now. Everything's fine. Life is moderately okay. I have no real concerns or worries right now. I just had a big lifestyle change, whatever the hell my mouth said. So like back in December of, oh hell, let's go even further back. Let's do the year of 2021. It's me hanging out, being a guy, being pretty overweight. Like not like like morbidly obese, like, you know, spilling out of my shirts and stuff. Well, that's not true. I was kind of spilling out of my shirts too. But more specifically, I was just like, you know, I was kind of heavy set. The moment I realized that like getting off the couch actually like was an option I had to weigh. Like, do I really want to? Because this just, I just feel tired. Like I'm too tired to like lift myself up off of a couch. I figured, you know, it was time to start getting in shape. So I was like, screw it. I'm gonna cut back on like sodas. I'm gonna cut back on, you know, all the what is it, like just various forms of sugar and stuff like that, and kind of like fatty foods in general. And so I started doing like more salads. I started doing like you know, when I would order from like Starbucks, I wouldn't get those frappuccinos or anything like that. I'd start doing like green tea and cold brew, that kind of thing, just to kind of, you know, cut back. And I know like there's still some sugars in some of those things, with the exception of the cold brew, because cold brew I would get black and then kind of decorate it up myself at home. But so, you know, I did that, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm starting to see like some weight loss. This is going well, and I started exercising a bit more at home. Like I was doing a lot of like calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, got a pull-up bar, all that fun stuff. And I was just, you know, ultimately I was like, you know, I was making progress. I was doing stuff. Everything was going pretty well. And so like I started the year at like fluctuating somewhere between like 195 and like 210. And I was like, oh man, boy, I hope I keep losing more. And so I think by like April, I got myself down to like 160. And I was like, dang, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Everything's like kicking. I got all these things going. Man, I'm keeping on my regimen. I'm doing it. You know, I'm doing great. And so I keep doing it. Like I'm just like, yeah, let's keep going. Let's make sure I can do everything. I can get myself down. And then my favorite thing happens, which was I dropped down in July to 140, or sorry, 156. That's what it was, 156. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm down to where I wanted to be. I think I'm at a good point where I can just kind of like I can lax on my regimen a bit more. I could probably have like a soda, you know, a day or something like that, and it wouldn't be a big deal. If I start getting up, I'll go right back to the regimen. I'm good at doing it. I'm gonna keep doing the exercise though, and doing sit-ups and push-ups and all this other thing. And so I do. I go back to drinking soda and all of that, and you know, and then a couple more months go by, and so now we're in like September of last year. I'm having issues with my internet, so I'm like focused on that because I'm trying to get like my ISP out here to fix it, and they're not doing it, and all that fun stuff. And so I was very distracted and very frustrated, but I was still doing my thing. So October hits, and I'm like, well, what am I at now? And so I weigh myself, and I'm like, oh, I'm at 145. And it takes a second, and I'm like, I've been eating like a lot of pizza and like hamburgers and like French fries and sodas, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta, you know, this is getting too much. Let me make sure I can get back up, you know, because like if I have like a parasite or something, I want to make sure I can like offset everything and like get my weight back to a healthy level. Because at this point I'm like, I'm what the standard is of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like my BMI is great, and I'm like, but I'm like slowly starting to get to that point where I'm like at the national too skinny level, and I'm like, oh, okay, well let me try and put on some weight. So I'm sitting there, I'm cramming food, I'm doing all this other stuff, and then like December hits, and I'm just like, I have been eating like garbage. I have been exercising a lot, and so like I look great to a certain extent, but I'm still dropping weight, and so I'm down to like 140 now. So I slowed it a little bit, like from like all the extremes, but I'm like, okay, I'll go check. I'll go to a doctor. I'll figure out what's going on. I guess I'll try and see like if there's something like wrong with me, you know, if like, you know, I've got, you know, some sort of like issue. And so I go to the doctor beginning of December, or no, end of November, I think. Either way, this is all about this. The revelation all happens around the same time. Either way, so I go to the doctor. She's like, so I don't, when you're sitting there and you're thinking about it, and she's like, well, you know, I don't want you to like get worried about it, because most people when they're dropping weight, they think of, and in my head I'm like, diabetes, right? And she's like, they think of cancer, and I'm like, I'm sorry, please, what? That's not where my mind goes. And I am now more panicked than ever that you said that. And so a few days go by. They do a bunch of blood tests. They do a bunch of things like that. They drain like 5 vials out of me, and they run like every test possible. Which, good news, not an STD. I'm clean as a whistle on that front, so pretty happy about that one. Nice clean bill of health from that one, because, you know, also another potential thing, I guess, based on what they were saying. Also, no cancer. So I was like, hot damn. Don't have to worry about what she said, because that was more alarming than the initial weight loss was. But so so I go off. Have a small little trip with Becca. I say small, but like we went and I got engaged that weekend and all that. So I was like on top of the world. Things were going great. But then my doctor basically comes back and she's like, hey, you need to get to a hospital. And I'm like, what? She's like, because your blood sugar level is at like 400 and something. And I'm like, sorry, what? I don't have a frame of reference to understand if that's good or bad. Is that too much? Is that too little? And so she basically is like, go to a hospital right now, get an insulin IV, like an insulin drip, and yeah, because you're probably diabetic. And I'm like, what? And so I go to the hospital, all that fun stuff. They do not. They have me sit there because this is like still in the middle of like Rona times. So like the hospitals are overbooked and understaffed and all that fun stuff. So I'm sitting there for like I think 8 hours because I think I was there from like noon to like 8:30 or something like that, and they never gave me an insulin drip. They were just like, hey, you know, your blood sugar levels look fine, so we're just you want an IV, like a water IV, like a high we'll hydrate you and get you the hell out of here. And I was like, oh, okay. And so they do that. I go back and I tell my doctor, and she's like furious. She's like, oh my god, these people, da, da, da. And so she basically gets me signed up for all of these different things. And so it turns out, after going to an endocrinologist, that I have type 1 diabetes, and that I, you know, somehow at this point in my life have it's actually flared up. So it was very interesting, very funny, because I've made a lot of jokes about not necessarily the diabetes thing, but just, you know, drinking so much soda. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get like type 2 or something, and then type 1 comes around and just slaps me in the back of the head, and I'm like, oh no. But I don't know, I'm still at I'm at a pretty decent spot where that's nice. I like that. I can manage it now. Like I've got like the initial, oh god, like so couple months after we got everything set up, I got my insulin going and my like test strips, and I'm stabbing myself in the fingers to get blood, and I'm stabbing myself in the stomach to get insulin. What is it, like we end of the month, like we have, you know, we got family coming out of town, and one, you know, someone's, you know, it's around that time the Omicron Persei 8 is going around, and I end up contracting the Rona at the end of that month. So December, I basically get engaged, and then I get diagnosed, and then end of the month I get Captain Rona's midnight visits, and so that was like all within the span of a month. And so like, keep in mind, the last couple episodes of the Upmost Winter Games, I am still like the first one, I'm kind of feeling a little sick, and I edit it and I get it all done, and then but the second one, the last one I posted, I was like full on COVID, like on vacation technically, but I was still just like I was like, I gotta do something to keep my mind off of it. So I just kind of like I just pushed through, and I just posted the last one. I think that was kind of the moment, because I had been doing like, God, I had been doing weekly releases for like the last 2 or 3 years, like consistently, and I did that when I was the height of being like the sickest, and I was like, I can't keep doing this, like not right now. I really need a break, because I need to focus on like figuring out the diabetes thing and just getting better. And so a lot of that kind of took a back seat because of that. It was pretty unfortunate. Like I was very sad that I kind of had to like sideline doing this just so consistently. And honestly, just going forward at this point, I don't know how consistent I'm going to be with it in general. But I still want to do it. I still like doing this. I like editing. I like the recording the part, and I'm sure talking like this is a little, you know, is a little therapeutic in some cases to get things off my chest. But yeah, no, it was a wild time. And so like, God, there was a period in January where like I apparently didn't enter in like the insurance correct, or I didn't have the doctor write the prescription correctly, and so like they were basically like, hey, we're gonna charge you like $230 for like 3 things of insulin, and I'm like, holy no, absolutely not. Oh my god. And so like there was a period of time where I was like freaking out and just like panicking, because it was like the doctor had explained to me like if your blood sugar goes too high, you can go into what is called a diabetic coma. And so I realized like back in like April that I had just been kind of like very lethargic randomly, if that makes sense. Like not like I don't know, not like low energy, like when you haven't like exercised in a while or anything like. Because I was doing that, I was on top of it, but it would be like after certain meals I would just feel like tired and drained and ready to like take a nap. And now in retrospect I'm like, oh yeah, that was after I downed like a 2-liter of root beer, ate a burger and a bunch of fries, and then had an ice cream thing. Yeah, no wonder I was like so tired and ready to go to sleep, because I was probably like on the verge of a coma. Jesus, oh god, it's obviously, you know, it's a real scary thing in the moment. Obviously I'm more responsible. I'm getting that stuff done. But just in that moment, it was kind of like all the red flags made sense, and when I was going through it, like I didn't, because like I've seen TV shows where they talked about diabetes, and even like Scrubs from back in the day. Like at a certain point, you know, one of the characters gets diabetes, and he talks about, oh yeah, weight loss and having to urinate frequently and stuff like that. Yeah, those are common signs of like them having diabetes. And I knew to a certain extent, like I knew that, but I was also like, first of all, I was actively trying to lose weight. So like my mind was like, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing a good thing. But I also, because of that, I'd increased like my water and tea and coffee consumption. And so I thought, oh, I'm urinating more because I was drinking significantly more like actual liquids and stuff. And so, yeah, it was just funny, how that all played out. Cause I was like, oh Jesus, I was messing myself up bad. But yeah, so and the other thing, just kind of go into it, not just Rona, but other like sicknesses and stuff are like significantly worse when you have diabetes, like because it messes with my blood sugar really bad, and it makes me just feel like worse overall. So like getting diagnosed with diabetes when I did, just in time for when I caught that, and getting the insulin for when I was going to be sick was honestly the luckiest thing in the world, because I was initially scheduled for my doctor's appointment, because it was, like I said, during that time period where people were solidly booked. Like I'd made the appointment in, I think, like mid-November, and they basically said, oh yeah, we're not gonna be able to see you till January. And I'm like, okay, I guess, and kind of went on with my day. But then they were like, oh, we have an opening if you can come in. It was like, you know, right after I got back, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not, that'll work. And so I got in, they did that, they got me the insulin and stuff like that. And so like it would have been probably a lot rougher time if I didn't have that happen. So I'm super grateful, and this is one thing I say to like everyone I can who knows me like really well. Like if I was in an RPG, my highest stat would be luck, because that is the one thing that seems to always just kind of like play out for me really well. Is like I do work very hard to do like what I do and like get where I'm at, but like there's just so many things that I've lucked out of where I'm like, oh thank God, because oof, that was just not gonna happen if I didn't, like if the pieces didn't fall into place, and it would have been a lot worse. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, where it's like, oof, I am so glad that there was a magical opening, like someone, you know, called out or whatever of their appointment, because then I was able to get in there and not be in a diabetic coma, you know, while having Rona. So, you know, always good, always a pleasure. But yeah, so thanks for walking around this forest with me, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. And really just explore this wonderful world of Slime Rancher. I will be back with more episodes. I'll just say that. But for now, I'm going to end it here, and we'll talk to you guys later.